Like, yeah, nah, bro. I brought Tombstone. It's over for you, Pookie. You're out of here. Hey, YouTube. How's it going? It is SixCrits here. Hope everybody is doing well. This is going to be my first shot at a video like this, so I hope you guys really like it. I do have a new microphone. I think this might be the first video going out to the YouTube channel as well with my new audio, so let me know how you like it. We're also going to be reacting to a video today that I really liked by Agimovs. It is if every killer fought, who would win in Dead by Daylight? So first and foremost, great video, great content creator here. Check them out. If you have not already, hit them with that little subscribe button. This is a great video. It's good theory crafting and everything. I agree with some of the list, but not all of it. So we'll get my takes in here. We'll watch through the video and we'll see where I make some changes. Oh, another heads up too. They're including all of the killers and everything on top of like interesting skins that they've got. I'm just going straight up off killers. So like the Chitterer, for example, like Were Elk and all them, the Titan. We will not be including those in our list today. We are just going straight up with the killers.
If the entity told them all to clash until only one remains, who would it be? I'm also going to consider which characters could possibly ally with one another. For example, I could see Pinhead and the Chatterer grouping up. There can only be one winner though, so even in these cases, by the end they will all turn on one another. Let's get into it. At the very beginning, the first characters to fall are more than likely going to be the characters with little in the way of attack, defense, or resistance.
I agree with this.
The very first to fall though, I have quite clear in my mind, and it might surprise you, but I think as the fight breaks out and the characters scramble for what to do, one character is going to get targeted and eliminated quickly, and that is Blight. Most characters on the killer side hold no particular grudges toward anyone else, but a lot may not be a fan of Blight, who injected many of them with his serum, and like...
Alright, so that's where my first disconnect happens with this. So I don't think Blight is a super liked character by all the other killers. I do agree. They're not going to be a fan of him. I don't think he's... I mean, they might try to target him, but I really don't think he's going to be the first one to go down. I really don't. He's going to be able to rush away at the very least. So who's my first person that I think they're taking out? My first person is going to be the Chuckster. But yeah, my first two, and it's a toss-up. It depends on how the first fight goes. My bottom of the list here, first wave, who's getting taken out, it's going to be either Chucky or Deathslinger. Now, why Chucky or Deathslinger? Chucky is a doll, you guys. Chucky is a doll. Chucky is not going to... He's got hidey-ho mode. He can be a little sneaky, little funny guy. He might be able to hide, but at the end of the day, it's a doll. If you've watched any of the movies, I mean, he's extremely human. He's extremely breakable. He would be he could be stepped on by Nemesis on accident, and he's out. He could be stepped on by Trapper, and just be out. You know what I'm saying? So like, and that's an easy one for me. It's gonna be Chucky. I've also got Deathslinger down here, and the reason for that is one, he's got a single shot harpoon gun, so he's not gonna be doing a whole lot of damage, and then he's also got the limp. And he's an older guy. I don't think he's not gonna have the stamina or what it takes to either get out of the fight once the fight starts, and he's not going to be able to hold his own. Like, he might get maybe 2 spear shots off. Maybe, possibly, but after that it's over for my boy the Deathslinger. Love him to death, but the other killers are also going to love him to death, as in they're going to send him to heaven or the other place, probably the other place. Now that I say it out loud, but yeah, that would be those would be my two at the very bottom here that are getting taken out 100% without a doubt.
The next to fall would likely be Nurse. While she does have clip.
So I agree with this. Nurse is at the one of the bottoms on my list as well. Nurse would be going down in wave 1. She can teleport and blink. She's got a really long cooldown for any of her abilities. She's got a hacksaw Like there's people here that with chainsaws, you guys. Yeah, hacksaw is not cutting it.
Power with her telekinesis and would be able to push back an opponent or two, she would quickly get overwhelmed due to her fatigue. She can blink a few times but needs to take a long breather, and her weapon
hard agree with
strength is
this.
very little. Therefore, I think she might be able to make a few good dodges and push back someone, but one stray blade swiping her way, and I think she quickly falls. The same goes for a character like Pig, who is small and whilst could avoid
Pig. So Pig, I really want to say that in a whole like sock 'em drag 'em out brawl, she makes it a little bit farther. I unfortunately, I think she is a human being. She's got that little blade. She's got stealth and whatnot. I don't think she's making out of wave one. I don't think she's gonna get any value out of her reverse bear traps. I mean, maybe she could put it on Chucky's head, as he's already like had his like legs lopped off or something like that. If the bear trap even fits. But like you can't put her up against like the clown or something like that, or even like the plague. Like she's going to take some damage as time goes on. And probably going to get taken out pretty early on.
She's also quite restricted with her lumbering mask. Maybe she could sneak up on a Legion member and place a trap on their head, but
Well, and that's the same thing with like Trapper, for example. Like his mask, you got to think about it. He's got 2 dots for his eyes. So anyone that's wearing a mask like that, you have no peripheral vision. You're gonna be lower on the list. You're gonna be lower on the list if you can't look around. If you have to fully turn your head when you're in an all-out fight, it's going to be tough for you to make it through a whole lot of this stuff.
Bubba, despite having a sweeping chainsaw and being capable of repelling many of the characters back, he would not be able to do this forever. I think in the Chaos 2 he would panic and sort of make himself a target by just going wild in the middle of a group of characters, flailing around. I could see one of the stronger characters seeing this and quickly pushing him aside.
See, I don't know about that, because it's Bubba. Like, I get it. Like, he could have a tantrum and whatnot and go crazy based off of his personality. But the guy's got a chainsaw. The guy's literally got a chainsaw. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, if I am a killer, my first target ain't gonna be the dude with the chainsaw and a hammer and like somebody else's skin for a mask. You know, I'm gonna leave homie alone. He's not going down in the first wave for me. I'll show you my second wave here in a second, once we get through the first wave.
Billy, in a similar way, is a bit more resistant and is...
Billy's got a chainsaw too, and so furthermore, Billy is quick. So I even put Billy above Bubba. He's got a chainsaw. He can run away if he needs to, and then he doesn't have a whole lot of cooldown. Honestly, like he can just rev that chainsaw right back up, go into overdrive, and get into some shenanigans. I don't know, just based on like his height and everything like that, I feel like he's just durable. He can probably take some hits. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he has to go up against like one of the inhuman like creatures like Nemesis or something like that, he could be taken out fairly early. So I don't have him super high up on the list, but yeah, I think he's making it out of the first wave for sure.
Is a great example of this. While she has no real practical weapon in her sensor, she does have her vomit, which she can spew across a bunch of her opponents.
Yeah, Plague I think brings a whole bunch of chaos. I'm gonna go ahead and we can reveal my whole first wave here. So this is what I got, right? I've got Deathslinger, Chucky. The twins I don't think are gonna do a whole lot. I think there's an emotional connection there between the both of them, but I don't think they're going to be able to get the upper hand on some of these other killers that we've got here. We've got Skull Merchant. At the end of the day, she's got her drones. Her drones can tag people, but they don't really do damage. And again, at the end of the day gotta end. She has a knife for a weapon that's attached to her arm. She does have a crazy lunge, but like that's all she's got going for her. She's a human at the end of the day, and I don't think she makes it out. Plague, I want my Goral to make it up a little bit higher through the waves. I don't think that's gonna happen though. I think she's going to cause a lot of chaos. She's gonna puke and vomit all over everything and everybody, but I don't think she has what it takes to fully make it out of the first wave. I think she starts puking. And then immediately it's gonna be like Huntress is gonna be like, nah, I ain't dealing with all that. I got a phobia of all that vomit. She's gonna back up and just snipe her with a hatchet straight to the noggin, and it's gonna be over for her. Hag is another one where in the lore she's been like hacked to bits, and her arm and like her hands are all like obliterated and whatnot. She might be able to teleport and whatnot, but I don't think she's going to have the offensive capability to defend herself. So she's going to get taken out pretty early. I could see a Blight taking her out. I could see a Ghost Face sneaking up on her. I could see Myers sneaking up or like doing anything like that. I don't think she has what it takes to make it out either. The Artist is a tough one for me because I think she's going to be a bit more durable. However, at the end of the day, she's got her crows to protect her, so they might kind of let her in and let her know that something's going, like, you know, somebody's like closing in on her or somebody's trying to attack her. But I really ultimately don't think she makes it out of the first wave as well. Going into the Clown, he has cardio issues. At the end of the day, he is a big guy. When he has to reload his bottles, he slows down, he coughs, he chokes on his own like breath when he's running around. He's got a knife at the end of the day. He doesn't have the offense that it takes, and he doesn't have the stamina to keep up with some of these other killers here. So he would be in the same vein for me as the Plague. He might be able to slow down a survivor, or not a survivor. He might be able to slow down a killer. Like, let's say he throws his noxious fumes. I could see him taking out Pig. I could see him taking a liking to that fight there. I could also see him trying to go for the nurse. He would definitely go for, you know, whoever the weaker character is, and then try to take them out. But I don't see him making it out of wave 1. We already talked about Pig. Trickster's another one where he might make it through a good bit of the first wave. And I've got the nurse here. The nurse, realistically, like, let's say she's probably like right around here, honestly. Trickster, he's got his knives, so he might be able to get some ranged hits off. At the end of the day, he's got a ton of knives, so he's gonna do some damage, but I think he gets very quickly overwhelmed by a Clown, by a Trapper, by a Blight, something to that effect, you know? So I don't think he makes it out of wave 1. Trapper is another tough one for me because I think he's a big, durable guy, but at the end of the day, he's just got a machete. He's got bear traps that he can put down. And I don't think he's going to be able to get a lot of value out of those bear traps. So I don't think he makes it out of wave 1 either. And this is what his first wave looks like. We'll jump into my second wave here. We'll listen to a little bit more of this too. But I think like the Singularity, for example, he is an amalgamation of parts and human anatomy. The second you take down some of those parts, he is going to be significantly less efficient at moving, teleporting around, anything like that. The second he gets a hit, I don't think he comes out of the first wave unscathed. I think he does make it into the second wave, but I think he gets easily taken out shortly after that. Once the dust starts to settle, he'll take a hit from the Kanabo. I think he could get hit by a chainsaw. A chainsaw is going to rip through like a Billy chainsaw. Yeah, that's ripping through the Singularity all day long, son. All day long. We'll go ahead and listen to some more of the second wave here.
Doctor I could see surviving for a little while, with him able to put everyone into madness as he rapidly shocks the area. He could cause a lot of chaos and would likely enjoy it, lots of characters swinging at hallucinations, but eventually one of them is going to be real, and he's going to be on the other end of Ghostface's blade.
I agree with this. I think he can easily get taken out by a Ghostface, a Wesker, something like that. I think he's in the same realm as Plague of bringing a whole lot of chaos to the board, but I don't think he's got a lot to follow up on it. The second people get annoyed with going into madness, just going to make them even more like enraged, and they're going to take this guy out pretty quickly.
He is just a human after all, and all he has really is his bat. I could see him causing a lot of issues for everyone though, but not making it very far.
I'm just a human after all.
Ghostface would make it further than some of the weaker characters, as I could see him sneaking away in the early clash of characters, managing to go and hide and potentially pick a specific target, as that's where his strength is going to be. He is tactical and will take his time when it comes to this. He'll maybe hide in the trees and find a perfect moment to strike. As he figures out which Doctor is real though, and goes in for an attack finally, he's going to immediately become very exposed, which will ultimately be his downfall. All the time he was stalking, perhaps Myers would be watching from even further behind. the true Master Stalker grabbing him from his feet and plunging his blade into him. I
totally see that happening. I'm in 100% agreement. So far, the second wave, I'm pretty much in agreement with. I've got one extra character so far, and I think Bubba doesn't make it through wave 2. I think, again, because of his tantrums, because of his maybe timidity there, or rather maybe his aggression once he's in the tantrum, I think he gets taken out pretty easily by a Huntress X, by a stealthed Ghostface, by a Myers. I could absolutely see Myers stalking Ghostface while he is stalking. But yeah, it's going to be the same thing for those guys. The second they come out of stealth, it is over for both of them. So I do see Ghostface revealing himself first, and then Michael Myers coming up being like, yeah, nah, bro, I brought Tombstone. It's over for you, Pookie. You're out of here. I think Michael is also just generally more durable than Ghostface. If you watch any of the movies, they've been bested every single time. Ghostface has been bested every single time by just normal people. And a lot of times they don't even have like insane weapons or anything like that. They just get into a knife fight and he loses. So I think he maybe eventually gets taken out by a Wesker with Ouroboros, or like a Pyramid Head coming in and lopping off his head. Or again, I think Michael could do the job as well pretty easily there. About Naughty Bear. Naughty Bear's not in my list, but he's a teddy bear.
Say that one more time.
He is a teddy bear. He's not going to have the same issues as Chucky's going to have. I agree with this placement here. So we are still in the second wave. He's not going to have like blood or guts or anything like that. So he's probably going to be able to get some damage off, even more so than his like the actual Trapper, his counterpart there. So I do agree with this.
The character I do think you may be surprised has lasted so long. However, I do think he would last quite a while. Sure, he doesn't have much defense as a stuffed bear, but it also means he can't really bleed, so many of the more human characters will actually be more helpless than him. He could tank a few hits. It's only when he gets some stuffing pulled out or a leg torn off or something that he's going to take some real damage. Therefore, I think he could survive this long purely by means of being able to take a beating, but also return a decent one too. Eventually, I could see maybe Knight and the boys grabbing an arm or leg each and exploding him into stuffing though. Myers is another character that I do think hits a bit of a wall beyond a certain point. He has no protection and just a kitchen knife. There comes a point where before he could even resurrect himself, he'd be back down again, and his knife would just not be doing any damage. I think
yeah, well, once you get to the point of like inhumanity, the knife ain't doing much. The knife does great against a lot of these people that were in the first wave and being sneaky, being a little sneaky, silly, funny guy. But like once we hit the third wave, it starts to get real. He's not going to be durable enough. He might be able to resurrect himself in the very beginning, but I don't think he's making it much past the second wave here. So we are getting close to the end of the second wave. I feel like I can go ahead and reveal my cards. This is going to be my second wave here. The only ones I've not really talked about is Huntress. I think Huntress is going to definitely be able to get some damage out throwing her hatchets. I think she is going to run out rather quickly. She'll make it through the first wave, and we've got a lot of people that got taken out here in the first wave. But once she runs out, she's just got her normal axe. Now she is a beast of a creature, right? But again, I think somebody like a Ghostface sneaking up. I think even Singularity, before he gets hit, could even do some damage to the Huntress. Again, well, once she's only got a hatchet, what are you doing to Bubba? Bubba's got a chainsaw. Like if you guys get in close proximity and you think Beyblades, like do you want to play against the Beyblade that's only got like one little like sharp edge on it, or do you want to play against the guy that's got like spinning chains and all kinds of other crazy shenanigans? I'm hedging my bets on Bubba. Blight's another one of those two where I do think eventually the attrition of everybody not liking the Blight, he probably does get dogpiled on once the serum doesn't do, once he's got to like re-inject himself with more serum and he's got that downtime. I think he gets dogpiled by somebody like the Legion. I also think the Legion here, so I'm calling the Legion, it's all four of them, right? It's all four of the Legion that are here. That's why I think they make it this far. I think in the first wave, maybe two of them get taken out in the first wave. I think they will work together throughout. And I think they'll work together like up until the end. But I can see like Demogorgon, for example, I could see a Demogorgon just jumping on one of them, ripping their face off, calling it a day. Wraith could be another one that is just a sneaky, funny guy. Pulls up with the bell, bing bong, bop in the back of your head.
Fuck your life, bing bong.
And it's over for somebody like the Legion. That is my my second wave right there.
Our third wave would open up with a Wraith.
All right, so here is where we're at on wave 3. So who do we still have in here? Out of these, I have moved things around a little bit, but I'm still in agreement for the most part. And we'll see, it really starts to kind of separate here in the third wave.
Finally being located. After cloaking at the very start and retreating to a corner of the arena, it would only be when something like a Xenomorph was tossed into him that he'd fall to the floor and be broken from his cloak. He could try and fight back and maybe cause some damage, but become too weakened by the acid blood and fast.
I won't even lie to you. I agree. I think the Wraith actually does make it this far, and you might say, yo, 6Crits. He only has a Bing Bong. That's all he's got. He's got stealth on his side though, so I think he will be able to just again hit the Bing Bong. He's hiding in a corner exactly like that. He is not going to just stay there the entire time. I think he is going to get some good timing hits, and then he's gonna go back and just kind of bebop around. He's got a lot of speed when he is in stealth. But the second he gets accidentally hit by a throwing axe, or let's say Pinhead's hooks just come out and find him, it's going to be over for him. I do think he makes it through the third wave. He's one of the last ones, but he'll eventually get taken out again by a Wesker or by a Spirit. By dumb luck, Spirit just manifests right in front of his invisible body. Like as she's in the ethereal realm, she just spawns in on him. She's like, what is this that I'm walking into? And just like slings, lops off his arm or something. That's how I think the Wraith goes out.
Xenomorph I could see being taken down by the two Yamaokas, teaming up.
Xenomorph, I agree, goes down in wave 3. I think she puts in a lot of damage with her acid attacks. I think she could hold her own against, again, somebody like the Doctor, somebody like the Legion. She's gonna like completely melt them. But eventually, once we start to get into the higher tier of killers, they're just not going to either have a reaction to that, or they're going to be able to overwhelm her. I could also see from there Demogorgon kind of biding its time and then lunging onto somebody in the midst of all that. I do think the Demogorgon does go down here in wave 3 as well.
Freddy could go next, I think. He would last so long as a result of his ability to resist damage within the dream world and pulling many characters into it. However,
I think Freddy makes it through wave 3. I think he can stay in the dream world. I think he's going to be an opportunist just like Wraith. He's going to appear when the time is right, and he's going to take some people out. I think he might be the one that takes out like Wesker, for example. I don't see Wesker making it out of the third wave. I just don't see it happening. I understand he's got his Ouroboros and whatnot, but I don't think that is enough to carry him through these next couple waves of killers.
the final clash of this wave I think would be Spirit and Oni together taking on the Knight and his boys. I could see Knight taking down Spirit, leading Oni into a rage possibly, burst.
All right. So Spirit, sure. Spirit, I think gets taken out here. I think easily a Pyramid Head could get the job done. I think the Unknown could come in out of nowhere and again just appear. Because again, she's walking up. You got to dispel the Unknown's like his husks. I could see her being taken out that way. The Oni is a demon. The Oni is literally a demon. Like he's making it through this. He's not getting taken out in wave 3 for me. Not in my opinion. I do think what do we have here? We had the Knight. The Knight is also another one for me. The Knight has a lot of advantages in a fight like this. He's got his 3 guards that he can summon with him. He's also wearing a suit of armor. So he's not going to be the fastest, but he's going to be extremely durable. You know, it's going to be hard. A nemesis would have to crunch this dude's step on him. I think he's going to be able to finesse that. I don't think he's worried about a chainsaw. I don't think he's worried about Demogorgon's teeth. I don't think he's super worried even about the Xenomorph's acid, because that might break through his armor. But at the end of the day, like what's underneath the armor there, you know, I think he makes it quite a ways through the waves here.
The fourth wave would begin with the clash.
All right, so fourth wave still has Pinhead. We've got the Blight, Queen Xeno, Nemesis, we've got Sadako. I haven't talked about Sadako a whole lot here. Got Dredge, we got Wesker, Pyramid Head, Vecna, and Dracula, and the Unknown. And for reference, we'll jump in and we'll take a look at my wave 3 here. I don't think I actually brought that up onto the board for you guys. This is who I've got making it through the third wave. So we've got Wraith, we've got Hillbilly. I do think, like I said, I think he makes it past Bubba, but eventually he is going to get overwhelmed. He is going to get clipped by a Wesker. Wesker's going to throw him into a wall, and that's going to throw him off. Again, you try to like chainsaw into a Demogorgon, maybe that even like, maybe he gets so much gunk on his chainsaw that the chainsaw just becomes inoperable. Who knows? I do see him ripping and tearing through a whole lot of people, but I don't think he makes it through. If he goes up to like a Pyramid Head with the chainsaw, like it's gonna just destroy the chainsaw. Pyramid Head's gonna use his great sword and take him out. Same with the Nemesis. Nemesis is gonna look at that chainsaw, he's gonna flick it away, and it's gonna be over for him.
William Birkin and Nemesis could clash, and I could see Nemesis coming out as the victor.
Yeah, Nemesis wins.
As the strongest BOW, bringing a
All
foot
day.
down onto Birkin, who'd be caught out. I can imagine this then being stopped by the entrance of Pyramid Head, with his great knife being brought down and easily slicing through Nemesis. Despite his hulking mass, Pyramid Head's blade would be far too sharp, I think, and simply slice Nemesis in two. The final
That's a tough one. I do think Pyramid Head could take out the Nemesis, so I do agree with that. I think both of them actually fall here in the fourth wave. I think an Oni can come up and eventually just obliterate the human portion of Pyramid Head and just take them out. Oni is still in this for me, by the way. He is a demon. Yeah, he's gonna go through and he's gonna cause all kinds of chaos. You get caught by that giant bat of his, it's over for you. I think he's the one who takes out Pyramid Head.
Then comes Unknown and Xenomorph Queen, clashing together, two monstrosities. I do think Unknown could win this fight, defeating the Queen with use of its inner tentacles, but
I agree with
at the
this.
cost of much of its skin burning to her acid blood. A final axe down and the Queen would go, I think. Here's where I think it'd maybe just be Pyramid Head, Sadako, Dredge, Vecna, Dracula, Pinhead, and Chatterer. Both Pinhead and Chatterer would be teamed up, of course, and I could see them surviving by deflecting all others with their chains, keeping everyone at bay and using their powers to damage all attackers.
So the Chatterer is not in my tier list here, but I do agree. He's going to be able to use his chains. Pinhead is going to be able to use his chains, keep everybody away, and he's also going to be able to go onto the offense with this, tying people up, sending them to the realm. If somebody decides to like really try to go to battle with him, I think he does make it.
I could see the two of them taking on Pyramid Head by means of binding him, using their chains and casting him down to the labyrinth.
See, and I see the Unknown getting bound there. I see like Freddy getting bound and getting taken out pretty easily at that point once Freddy manifests, and sending him like, so Pinhead's gonna be the one. I don't think Freddy can die in like the normal realm. So yeah, you'd have to like send him to like the 8 layers of hell with Pinhead.
The only character I could see breaking this unstoppable duo would be Vecna, using his spells to cast.
We also haven't talked about Vecna a whole lot. Vecna is going to be obliterating a whole lot of people. Vecna's got the ability to fly. Vecna's got all kinds of powers, has the entire spell book. They're going to be extremely powerful. They're going to be looking down upon all of these killers with the hugest of egos, because they know that they could obliterate a good bit of a lot of these killers here. So I think they are just biding their time right now, watching and like toying with the other killers, maybe helping one get an edge against the other. But yeah, no, I see a knight getting taken out by a Vecna, just getting obliterated with some type of magical blast, something to that effect.
The final wave would be our heavy hitters remaining, the strong.
Yeah, so here is my fourth wave here. We've got the Knight, we've got Freddy, we've got Pinhead, and good old Executioner, Pyramid Head, Nemesis, and the Unknown. So we have a total of 5 killers left here for our list.
Sadako, Dredge, Vecna, and Dracula.
So this is what his looks like. He's still got Dracula alive, he's still got Vecna alive, we've got the Dredge, we've got Sadako. In my final wave, I've got everything that he's got. I've got the Dredge, Dracula, Sadako, and then again, I've got my wild card here. I've got Nemesis here with Vecna. So I think this is a huge toss-up. Again, Sadako is only making it this far because she has truly the ability to just manifest and demanifest at her convenience. She can teleport around. She's going to cause a lot of confusion. She's not going to do a lot of damage. She's going to be similar to Wraith, but I think she is going to be harder to force to manifest. So I think with Sadako, it's going to be a battle of attrition. I think at this point, Oni has done so much damage. He might be getting low on his power. He might even get out of his power. At that point, a Dracula comes in and immediately just cuts the throat and wants to try the blood of the Oni. I see that happening pretty easily here. This is another toss-up too. I think Vecna has the ability to kind of look over and see what what's going on here in the final wave, and might turn the tides. Might even help Sadako because he knows Sadako's the weakest. Who knows?
Them are sort of immortal or invulnerable in some form. It would honestly be sort of a stalemate for a while, given none can debatably take damage. Sadako can demanifest.
I think after the Oni and Dracula spar, I do think it becomes a stalemate. I think it becomes a battle of attrition waiting for Sadako to appear. And I think Dredge also just doesn't care. Dredge will do whatever it takes to try to take somebody out. Same with the Lich. The Lich, everybody's just biding their time waiting for somebody to make a mistake here.
Dredge is just a fog, and Vecna and Dracula are both godlike beings. I think, however, though, that the two with the greatest power is Vecna and Dracula. I could see
agree.
Dredge getting defeated by just being absorbed or dissipated, maybe. It's also a creature that can't really attack with much power with just its fleshy limbs. It could just...
So yeah, I agree. Vecna's the one to take out the Dredge here. Vecna's going to cast a spell. Again, we can talk about banishing. He could summon Beholder to do his bidding for him, even freezing the Dredge, turning the Dredge into stone. You know, there's all kinds of devices that Vecna's got to deal with a creature like the Dredge. Same with Dracula. Dracula is a pretty big, heavy hitter, but I do think that he does get overwhelmed.
Consume. Perhaps Dracula could turn into a mist and absorb Dredge. That'd be kind of crazy. Probably not grounded in any actual lore, but that'd be pretty cool, right? Sadako maybe goes out by having her forced to manifest through a spell cast by Vecna. After this, she is quite defenseless and would quickly fall, but probably could curse the two of them still. This leaves us with an all-out battle between Vecna and Dracula. The two of them would go back and forth, I reckon, between their abilities, changing forms and casting spells. And the winner would ultimately be, well, I think it would depend on the day. I know that's a bit of a disappointing answer, but I really do think the two of them are both highly powerful, but just in different ways. So I
agree that they're both highly powerful, and maybe this is me being a D&D nerd, but like, I think Vecna comes out on top here. I think Vecna has so many more, like don't get me wrong, Dracula's pretty strong, pretty strong, inhuman, different forms that it can take on. But when we look at the Castlevania version of Dracula versus like the D&D version of Vecna, Vecna just has so much more, like, and like, what do you consider winning, right? Because I could see, again, this is where Vecna spawns something to do his bidding to again just whittle down Dracula, eventually leading to a banishment, a nullify, something like that, coming out, a disarm to Dracula. You know, I think Vecna definitely comes out on top here at the end of the day against all of the really killers, including Dracula.
It depends how you kind of scale them. So I'm going to leave it up to you. As this fight goes on, the ultimate winner would be Vecna, defeating Dracula with his spells, casting him back, and finally putting an end to him. Probably not for good, but defeating him, I suppose. So Vecna would be our winner, the most powerful of Dead by...
So this was a great video. I really wanted to react to it and kind of give you guys my opinions on the killers. I actually, when I first watched it, I was like, man, I agree with a lot of this. There were a few in the you know, in a couple waves that I was like, you know, it's a little bit different. You know, just because of I think just there's more weaknesses that can be played to, like Chucky. Again, Chucky's a doll. We've got the Oni. The Oni's a demon. We've got Deathslinger. Deathslinger's got a near broken leg. He's not making it through. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, shout out again to this creator here. I actually watch them in my free time as well. So if you end up watching this, I love your videos. I don't know if that's getting put in the final, but if it is, hey. But yeah, great video. Hope you guys do enjoy it. Again, this is my first time making a video like this. So we'll see how it goes. If you are still here in the video as well, I really do appreciate it. Thank you for you know, giving it the time to watch it and hang out with me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If there's anywhere I put in a different area from where you would put them, I'm gonna put my tier list up here as well for you guys to compare and contrast. I've also got this tier list here in my Discord as well, so you guys are more than welcome to take a look at it and you know, give me your thoughts on it. But this is where I landed with it. I'd love to know you know, any changes that you guys would like to make. So with that being said, thank you again for being here. I really do appreciate y'all, and I will see you next time. Peace out, friends. Ooh.